I'm on. Good afternoon. As always, 2 minutes before I get on, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta go get my stuff. And of course, you come here, Norman's already invading my space. So,
I thought you killed Norman already.
oh yeah, we did kill Norman, but somebody did private message me and said, can I buy that plant so you don't have to kill Norman? Just kick him. Just kick him for me. But yeah, so that poor plant is already sold to this very, very nice. Actually, she's actually my very first jumper, by the way. The very, very, very first jumper.
I should name an orchid after her.
We sure do. We should. So, welcome to our podcast. Every Saturday, rain or shine, except the holidays. I think we only had 2 weekends off since March. I know we're in winter here, as Irina reminded me that it's probably spring everywhere else, minus Texas. And I'm really sorry for all of our friends out in Texas. I hope everyone is okay. Stay warm. Orchid is secondary, guys. Stay healthy. So I think we're gonna just do a little repotting today, a little bit early repotting.
There's some areas can be pot at E4.
Yeah, as Norman keep interrupting me. Some area could do repotted. I mean, they could do a little bit of helping, adding moss or underlight is fine. But do be careful.
Oh, that's nice.
What? This is nice, right? So, apologize. I only had a few seconds to grab whatever I needed. I think I need. After all, I am a business major, right, Jeff? As Norman like to remind everybody. Maybe I'll use this down here. So I've been noticing a few posts. I think we have a new member. Is she a new member? A few plants. She was asking advice about dendrobiums, and unfortunately, a few of those went to dendrobium heaven. Again, I'm sorry. We're hosted at Norman's Orchids in Montclair, California. For some of you guys have friends outside of California or United States, you could point them out to YouTube at under Norman's Orchids, and they could still tag on and see our previous podcast. So, Jeff, I forgot. Hannah needs to say hello. She's barking. So for the new members, welcome. Welcome to our little podcast, our little orchid family. If you're new, if you go to our homepage, right underneath it says all the members, and the number right underneath there's a scroll of about us, announcements. Keep going toward right. It'll be a section on their topics. Hit topics, and you'll drag down to a whole bunch of little topics like the fertilizer. Yeah, just grab her for a minute. She's not gonna stop barking.
She's supposed to be here during.
Yeah, she's supposed to be here. But anyway, let me finish the topic before I forget. Go to topic. There's probably a whole list of topics. There's fertilizer, there's Mega Thrive, there's Jamie's jumpers, there's, what else is there? Live podcast. You can hit live podcast, and you got to get over to me. There's live podcast, and you can hit that. Jeff has been very helpful. Jeff has got all the podcasts there already, Jeff? Up to last week's? 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks? Okay. So the new members, you could catch it there, or you could subscribe to our YouTube. But the YouTube will not have show and tell, so you might still want to watch it there. Can I see her for a minute? So today is Miss Hannah's birthday. So she has a lot of gifts at home. She has a new bed and lots of stuffed animal and the trimming to go with her new bed. And her new shirt today, small dog, big heart. So that's Hannah. Happy birthday, baby. Huh? Kiss, kiss. Thank you. That's her birthday. 1 year birthday today, right on the dot. She's been a blessing to our family. God, it's hot in here today. Whew. Can you turn on the fan? Is that too loud? No, is that too loud if you turn on the fan? It's good to go or no? No, fan. Yeah. We could. Yeah, turn on the fan. Because I think Elaine reminded us previous to the microphone we could not turn on the fan. Like, I'm sweating bullets here.
Now that we have the microphone, it's okay.
Okay. Okay, so I think everybody, most everybody, the beginner or the intimate beginners, tend to overpot. I don't know why. Everybody think it's better to give it a big pot. You know, it's like you don't want to buy an extra large shirt so you could grow into it. So why do you expect your plant to want to live in such a big shirt, you know? So when you do over pot, you're gonna have over medium, over moss, which is gonna hold the wetness, or you're gonna rot out your plant. Hannah, I understand. We have the fan on, thank you. Okay, so we're just gonna do a few up pot. Auntie thought we should do this. This has got a lot to do with like Joy's plant yesterday, how the roots are coming out. And yeah, so Joy's plant was beautiful. She had a lot of roots. Then later on, I think she showed us she had a perfect root system as well. Like this one, we could do up potted, but I don't really want to disturb too much. And I checked, the moss is still good, right? Because the rule of the thumb, whether in spike, whether in flower, try not to repot. But the sequentials, when are you going to repot really? They're always going to be in flower. But for us, we could still take it apart, repot it in, and because we know we've been doing it for so long. For you guys at home, check the moss. But obviously, this is okay for a little bit, but just to show you, this root system is absolutely beautiful. Right? The root system is beautiful, but yet people are concerned about all these roots being at above, which is fine. They're air roots, so that's how they climb on trees in the forest, right? So we take out the moss. See, they're perfect. The root system is absolutely gorgeous. And I think Joy's plant was like that too, right? Joy's plant on the post yesterday was perfect. So I checked with the grower too, just to make sure. I'm not teaching you guys wrong, but I did check with Auntie. I go, the moss is still good, still fresh. She said it sure is. So I don't want to disturb it. Why disturb it, right? So I have some moss here that is, oh, it's already wet. Pre-soaked already a little bit because we use so much on a daily basis. We usually have a bucket of moss. We don't have a whole bale. Usually this is what we have. The Edith, when she's spiking, when she does her spiking, if the plant looks like it needs more, she'll just grab a little bit and then tag it on, right? So we always have a little bucket here. If not, I brought water and another bucket to soak it, but these seem to be fine. When I got into 2/3, they're pretty decent. So, not messing up Norman's desk. So here we're gonna, selecting pot is always be challenging for you guys. This is what it came out of it. Are you gonna go down? Obviously not. Do you wanna go up? Or do you wanna go higher up? Where's my other higher up? The 4-inch, oh, here it is. What size do you guys wanna do, right? You got 2 3/4, I guess, 3 3/4, and 4, 4.5. So most of you guys at home will pick this one. 80%, 89% will pick this one. But for us, we go one size higher. See? Most of you guys will go here. Then you got all that extra moss that doesn't need to be in there to help hurt your plant, right? So you wonder why it got rotted out. So we're just gonna go one size up. And again, you could check your plants. If the moss is still good, why disturb the whole system, right? Just wrap around it. Before I do that, remember I said save everything. Save all your peanuts, right? Put a few peanuts on the bottom. You could check. That's about right. Actually, you don't want your plant to be too high up, so I'm going to just grab a couple. Perfect, right? Because I'm trying to show you this versus you put everything in and it has to take everything apart. You want to try to not disturb the root system as much as you can. So I'm trying to just go real slow. First I put 4 pieces, then it elevated up. Then we're gonna have the same problem. The plant's gonna raise. The root system's gonna come out. So I put 2, then we're about the right size of the surface. So we're good to go, right? So this one we're not disturbing anything. We're just gonna wrap more to fit into that pot. Yeah, you're gonna break a little, you're gonna crunch, you're gonna hear a little crunch, but it's okay. They're not that delicate. Really should get Auntie to come do this. But this is what I do at home. I would put a little moss on the bottom. I'm gonna just wrap. And I hear it, the fresh leaves of the root system just kind of crunch a little bit. That's okay. And I'm just gonna push a little moss in. I'm doing it gently because this one has a lot of fresh root system that I told you that I kind of crunch already. And sometimes I see Auntie and them, they would have like a pen or pencil around. It's just to help me. See here, there's a pocket, right? So I'm not putting enough moss there. Thanks, Roger. Just put it right there. Trying to. Haven't done this since last spring. Again, I'm not doing a very full. Just trying to lightly do it. But I didn't even have to tag that one in, but just to show you. And you've got all these pockets here. I'm not pressing really, it's not really that tight. It just looked tight, but it really isn't. Now we got pockets on this side, you know, because again, it's like squeeze the pot, so you're gonna have all these air pockets that you could get into. Again, when you wash your moss, wash it several times. Soak it, wash it, 2 or 3 times to make sure it's all clean and no acid. Okay. Again, you want to try to get your plant in the center. I've seen some of people's plants are like, they're thinking they're planting a cattleya. The phyllis are on one end. Phyllis, you could put them more in the center. So I think this is pretty much good. This is what I mean about the bamboo. If you have pockets or whatever you want to get into, but there's a root system, so be real careful. I think I don't have as much pockets, but I think this is good. Again, we don't want to pack a phyllis really super tight, because in super tight the water won't go through. So we want to just be snug but not tight. So I think this is passable. What? Oh, am I for sale? I have a barcode. $1 million. So I think this is good to go. So we didn't disturb any of the roots, except a few that I kind of crunched to get in, but I kind of avoided. You know, people, I wouldn't get really nervous when these root system come out because they're air roots. And if they break, they break. Usually how we clean the root system is if they already have a broke section, let's go ahead and just take it off. There's plenty of the root system. See, like these is already, I could take it off, but you guys are probably crunched. And again, make sure you put your tags back in, because don't be repotting 5 plants and later on you got 5 tags and you're struggling trying to know which one is which. Putting a tag is the same thing as putting your bamboo stick. Put it behind your flower or your plant. This plant is facing this way, but somehow the spike is behind, but we could always spike it this way in the front. But your tag goes behind like you wear your tag. The right way to put a tag is squeeze a little bit It could just give you enough room just to go right in versus you trying to forcefully try to get in. Because remember, a lot of pots are so tight. So squeeze a little bit, give your air pocket, put your tag in. Okay, and if you worry about your tag losing ink, the name side, put it toward the pot so it's not constantly getting wet. Okay, and then also you can see it. You can read it as well. So these are just a few tips that you should always try to remember. So that's one. I really don't think you need me to go through this. Same idea. Okay, I was struggling with this one because I didn't want to really so good. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to in a few weeks look for one that I had to take it apart and over. It's best not to do what I just did, but oh well. So here's a dead root. When you go through an up pot, you might as well clean up the roots. Yeah, but this one I'm not gonna destroy. This one I'm still just gonna. Yeah, I will. I'm just cleaning. Again, these are all sterilized. These are still good, so I'm not gonna prune. I'm just gonna prune off whatever is really dead. Hannah, no, stop. At least now she listens a little bit. She understands no. So here's a dead root, so we want to clean. So basically we're up potting this, right? Because this is too small. So we're still going to go to the 3-inch. Put some peanuts on the bottom, right? There you go. You want to be about there. Again, remember earlier I forgot to put some moss on the base. So we're going to put some moss on the base. There you go. You're going to just kind of wrap these around. Oop, I missed one again. Anything that is not good. Gee, Norman, are you all ready today? Trying to spy on me, get me all nervous. Norman, the best potter is still Auntie, though. Auntie do this all day long. Well, actually, she doesn't pot. She teaches the staff what to do. You're trying to get all the root system on. You could do this when you repot, but eventually you know they're all going to come out. Again, you put it in the center. You don't put your fail like a cattleya all the way to the end, to the edge. And then your phalanx should not be leaning either. If you're going to do it right the first time. Unless you're mounting. But when you're potting, your phalanx should not be leaning. Well, I guess I should rephrase that. It depends on the variety. Some variety you can let it lean. Right, Norman? Norman's ignoring me. So I'm using my 2 fingers. Whenever I repot, I do the 2-finger trick. Just a little pressure, but not forcefully. So this one is not too bad. I'm not hearing a lot of root system being crunched. You want to cover, but not cover so much on the plant. So you get a plant rot. Right? This one's perfect. We didn't have to do too much. It was needed to be up pot, not under pot. Okay. So this one is done. Again, your tag. Put it the writing faces the plastic. Roger, could start. Okay, and here's the second one. Again, you don't want it to be too deep. You don't want it to be too high, and then the plant will be raised again. Okay. I don't do that tight, so when you start watering, you're going to lose moss. So you always have a little bit of moss on the side, and you could always keep adding. Okay. The last one is this one. Norman tossed at me the last minute. Batman.
Yay, Batman.
Batman. Hey, this Batman is 50-50. Look, Jeff.
They're under stress. Sometimes they do that.
This is Perolic on one
that's
side.
a new twist. 50-50
50-50 Batman. So stress, right?
Yeah.
So this
This
one,
is the case of overpowering.
this is over potting
They never dry out.
and never dry, right?
So take it out.
Am I cleaning the root system? Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna strip it.
Yeah.
Usually we tell you not to, but we do it here gently.
Oh,
Look at the root system. It's over potted. Look, we aren't. This Batman is not happy, Jeff.
See?
This is, if we don't do this and they're flowering, they're gonna collapse. So this
That's why I said in a moss,
less is more. So whoever did this,
fire.
not fire, corner, send them to the corner. So we're gonna strip it. Finally, look, we are not. Well, it's not that pathetic. It's okay.
Still has a lot of
It
root.
still has a lot of root system. And then it depends on the variety. People that repottle or something will call us that this is dead. This is not a lot of root system because they see some of the dead roots. You know, you guys just gotta have to learn. It's okay. We can't get to every pot, but you gotta switch scissors. The other one I can't use it. So this is obviously very, very wet. So we're gonna go in and clean out all the dead roots. It's probably gonna have like 3 by the time I'm done with it.
That's why it depends on how many.
It depends on it, you know.
You let that dry out anytime.
Yeah, usually I would just let it sit there for a day or two. And then if it's hot, like right now it's fine. If it's really hot, like 100 degrees or something, we'll spritz the foliage. You know, if it's hot, just spritz the foliage if you're really concerned, or put it in a cooler area, but you want to do a good cleaning. See, we cut off, this is okay. This root system is fine. But since I'm really not destroying anything, I could pot it up right now. But you at home, you should really let it air dry. Again, do you want to go there? Too small, I think. So we could go here again. Perfect. Okay, we're not going to go here. Back to that again. No. The foliage will carry it, but the root system's not. So you got to remember, your root system is what is getting all the nutrients and stuff, not your foliage. It goes from here to there and then to here. So we definitely want to go to this size again. Again, you're not going to pot it right away at home, but we will here at the nursery. Sometimes we will just leave it and forget about it for a week. Like we have nothing to do right here. Right? Just a little bit to fill up the bottom. And everybody probably do their potting a little bit differently. So you could do it your way. Ultimately, just get it to the same way. I don't care how you do it. Right? Softly wrap it. I think Norman did this for you guys before. Softly wrap your phalie to a bowl. You go from the bottom first, because once you get it in there, you can't get to the bottom again. I could only get to this side by shoving in with bamboo helping me. So you cover your base first. If not, you already have some on the bottom. Right? This one will take a little bit more moss, since this one we're doing a complete repot. Okay, so if you can see better, two fingers. A little bit tuck there. Tuck on this side. Your plant is still at a good level. If you think it's too low, you could hold the plant, pull it a little bit while your other finger trying to lift this a little bit. Okay. Okay, I think this is good. Again, you don't want anything in the crown. If there is, blow at it. What is that? What is that, Hannah? Why are you so pretty? Norman, did you see Hannah's dress?
Are you talking to yourself?
No, I'm not talking to myself again. So I don't have anything. I'm just gonna wire this, complete the job. This is not the right tool. I do my little hook because I'm not gonna wrap. It's still too long. Yes, Hannah, I'm sorry. It's her birthday.
Hello.
So just kind of pull your spike up. Yeah, isn't that cute?
Oh my god. She's gonna have a dressing room now?
Yeah, she is the star. You think you're the star, Norman, but Hannah's the real star.
She only wears faux fur.
Yeah, she doesn't wear like real fur because, you know, God forbid. So again, we completely repotted, but this will be fine because I didn't disturb much. They'll continue to flower. Again, here's your tag. Put it in this way, and voila, we're done. This complete our repotting class today. Just a real quick. We'll do more extensive later on when it's spring for us here in California. So these two we had to sterilize, Norman. Okay.
Frame.
A frame. Torched. Okay. Let me wrap this real quick, Roger, and then Roger has something to give me. Soon. 2 weeks, Norman. 2 weeks. Okay, so like I said, today is the child's birthday. What am I doing? So look what she's all dolled up in her little New Year fur. 阿姨，来了. Come here. Who's gonna take a picture?
I don't know.
Oh,
So here's
we have a cake. We have a cake for Hannah, but this is really a cake for us. Because
Using for cake.
Hannah, yeah, Hannah stays this size because I really don't give her treat very much. She eats her 2 meals a day so far, but yeah, I didn't want to get her. She has a little tiny treat at home, but I can't get her. Do you want to blow your cake out?
yeah, are you over here?
Auntie could help. 阿姨，你帮她吹好了。Happy birthday, Hannah! Happy birthday! So this is Hannah's birthday cake. I think it's chocolate and strawberry. So I told this lady at the bakery, guys, for my dog, and she freaked. She goes, "It's chocolate." I go, "She's really not gonna eat it."
Hannah's birthday.
Oh, this is for Hannah's birthday?
miniature.
Oh, Hannah, look! It's only no biting, okay? Thank you, Ayi. All right, Norman, we're gonna go eat the cake. You're on your own.
No, you have to wait. That's not fair.
No, that's okay.
But
I'm
isn't
on
it
the-
cute?
I'm on
It's
the
a cute little.
seafood diet.
You're on the seafood diet.
That's right.
Have a good day, guys. Well, Norman has it.
Okay, I'm gonna do the Novio.
You got my phone, right? Okay, let's see.
I think this is gonna release next week. This is a miniature compact using the Hanarite. Oh, cute.
Happy birthday, Hannah.
Okay. So I'm gonna put this at this corner. Can we get a focus on the flower? This print. What I'm getting more print ready for.
This is yours. Give me like a break.
Okay. I think we're ready. Okay. Hello everybody. Everybody staying warm. Okay. I don't think if you remember, there's one of our new member, Dr. Chan at Reno, and he posted a picture of the Nobile dendrobium, beautiful white one. And
I forgot to mention the Memphis being closed and everything of it.
okay, remember me. So what intrigued me is he grew that dendrobium indoor in a high-rise apartment, and that's because usually very difficult to grow them indoor in a high-rise apartment because a lot of times when we turn on the heat during at the house, it's too warm and they tend to get cakey. So this is why I think it would be appropriate to talk about the Nobile dendrobium because it's getting really popular because it's one of the orchid that you can leave it outside. Like I grow all my Nobile outdoor. I can do it with a Cymbidium year round. Okay, so now you have, I'm gonna start with this one here. This is the Nobile species. Can you see this flower here? Okay, this is the original plant. This is the species called Dendrobium nobilis. And that's why we call this, anything hybrid with this is called Nobiota dendrobium. And the species is actually from the foothill of Himalaya. So this plant is one of my mother plant, and obviously I did not, because the mother plant I did not put it outside. So it should be outside. I still have time to put it outside because what happened is they always regroup. They can rebloom from the old can, so they actually blooming from the old one first. And then this one here, if I stick this outside, even cooler temperature is going to stimulate all this coming up. And generally speaking, this species, this particular one, is always flower for me at Mother's Day because this kind of late bloomer. So I still have time to put it outdoor and spray with Mega Dry because one thing about nobility type, you had the standard. There's a lot of new hybrid now. Even this is the pocket lover. Okay, Jeff, can you see this part here? You see here? They dropped all the leaf now, and the flower bud is forming. This is the bud here, flower. All this. Okay, so this is the critical stage. Okay, usually a Nobile dendrobium by October or the fall. November, you don't water them. We start cutting back the water, and when you have the flower stage at this time here, you never fertilize it. You don't. Not only you cut down the water, you also cut down on the feeding. Nothing, no Norman's fertilizer at all. Because what happened with this is, if you have in this development stage, they can go either way. If they have any nitrogen in the fertilizer and warm night temperature, this might become a cakey instead of flower. So a lot of time, the best way, I know if you have a greenhouse or you have a lot of orchid, and this is perfect under light, by the way, the easiest way is just lay it down so you know you're not going to water them, or make sure you put it in the area where you can see them, that you do not water them and do not feed them. Okay. So this is the critical stage that I'm not going to water, I'm not going to feed anything. And we watered it yesterday because I know this is to develop now. So I do not want to let them to starve. Once you have this kind of bud formation, you can start giving water. But if you don't water them, they're going to be really dry out. Okay, so you have now a lot of the what with the miniature type, like this one, for example. This is an earlier one. This is Yellow Ball. Is from Japan. I don't think I have a lot of this. This is one of our trial. This is the earlier variety. So again, this is from the old can. So they done flower already. So I usually just trim it off from here. And a lot of time, I usually even take out the leaf. So nice about this thing, the Nobile type Dendrobium, the get better with age, the more can, every can have a potential to reflower along with this new one. Okay, so they come in all kind of color, and the best part about Nobile, they also have very, very fragrant. How many of you grow this type of Dendrobium right now? Okay, they are very nice. They're very easy to grow. If you're in Florida, even in South Florida, I have a lot of clients. They actually mount it on the tree in South Florida, and in the wintertime, it just when it's dry in South Florida, for example, they will drop the leaf sometime, and then it just flower naturally.
Why do you remove the leaves?
This back here?
The leaves, why do you remove
Oh, because this is the old can. Okay, so a lot of time, there's two philosophy of growing Nobile type. In Japan, they like it to have. Oh, by the way, the Nobile type also really there's one person really credited to make this type of Dendrobium popular is Mr. Yamamoto from Japan, and his way of growing them is he doesn't have leaf along with a flower. For example, like this. Okay, but that's really tricky because what happens is when they have flower form, because the leaf, they might kind of hide the flower. So a lot of time when you see the picture of Yamamoto Dendrobium, every flower is facing one side. Guess what? For the photograph purpose, they have person manually twist the flower for one side. Okay, so that's why because the way I go, everybody go differently. I personally, because I go outdoor in Southern California, and our winter down to 40 degrees, easy. I have an area doesn't get any water. I like to have a what I call just like calicidium, a seasonal change. I like to drop all the leaf. That way you can maximize the light in here, and so that way all this older leaf here inside will have at maximum light to induce more flowers from here. Okay. What? Oh, Jamie wanted me to show you this.
Yay, Batman.
After she did it.
Hey, Batman.
Okay. Now the Nobile type Dendrobium, you can even have the variegated leaf. So, and this is the very, very unusual one called Golden Blossom. It's from Japan. This one here, I don't care even if it doesn't flower. It had the very. In fact, I had customer doesn't want to have. They just grow it as a underlight. It doesn't get really big as a foliage, and the foliage always had the grassiness. And fortunately, this is very stable. And this one, for example, it just finished the vegetative cycle. So what I'm going to do is, if you live in an apartment, what I learned from Dr. Chen is, he has a high rises, and so a lot of window. And in Reno, it get cold. Just like Roger, you have a window, a door. It get cold. At nighttime, it drops down to 50 degrees, and that's a trick. It does. If you want to go this indoor, make your plant as close to the window as the glass door as possible. That's really cold. Or if you live in an apartment, right about what's your night temperature? Right around fall, maybe October, November. Put it outdoor, so it didn't get any. If you like to keep your night temperature above 60 degrees, leave it outside for 2-3 weeks. Then they have experience the drop of temperature below 60 degrees, and then put it inside the house, and that temperature difference in for 2-3 weeks is enough to stimulate the flower from here. So this one, for example, is perfect candidate for me. This is actually grow in a greenhouse right now and for me to put it outside my patio, or I can put it in my cool greenhouse. that night temperature, I don't heat as much. Like one of my Caralia house, I don't heat as much, and they go down to 55 degree or lower. Okay, I can. This is actually I can let it go outside without a greenhouse. Let it go down even 40 degree. The difference is at 40 degree, they're gonna drop all the leaf. Okay, so for this type, the variegated leaf, you can actually, if you can keep it, you don't have to go that extreme. Depending on where you are, the easiest way is to put it close to the window by the grass. Even if you have a snow in Ohio, put it to the grass. It's going to be enough chill for them. And just remember, okay, once you have started a good fresh water, from now at this stage right now, you do not water for, I don't care, at least a month. You just let it dry. Let it dry. And no feeding, absolutely no fertilizer. Okay. And when do you know when to do the fertilizer? I'm going to give you an example. Okay. I'm going to give. Okay, this is a tray of to my kid. Okay, and this is a perfect example of it's been grown outdoor. Okay, so what you usually do is see this one here. It had keiki from last year, and this is actually should have removed from last year. So because I want to prepare for to my kid is one of our best late bloomer for Mother's Day. Okay, so right now I can actually remove this, and it got enough root. And guess what? Can you see this? It's actually have a keiki now. I want to remove as much keiki because it should have done that last summer, but for some reason it did not. So that right now, this is grown outdoor in preparation. All the old one inside. I'm not gonna wait until they fall off naturally because I want to maximize the light. Okay, so this is grow here. It's a flower part here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this one here. Don't worry if they have yellow leaf because what we're doing right now, we're going to starve them. We're going to let them dry. So eventually they're going to fall off, and we're not going to feed them. So they're going to be lack of nitrogen. So this is going to fall off. And because, rightful so, because I want to go outdoor, and that way you have more light in here, and focus on here. More light coming here. You see this old can here? Can you see the emerging flower bud here? All this can be either flower spikes or keiki. Okay, so this is why it's very critical at this stage. You don't feed them any fertilizer, especially any fertilizer with any nitrogen. Okay, so you can see here part here. Okay. So this is a well grown. Then you tie them up again, and then put it in the area. You can actually score this under light also. We have customers who have a light in the area that have room is go down below 60 degrees. So cut down the light, cut down the water and the fertilizer. They'll be fine.
So question is the light better on the cane or on the leaves?
At this stage, they want to get it inside the can. Yeah, because
For the emerging flowers, right?
yes, yeah.
If there's no flowers, then you want it on the
Okay, so this I'm going to give you some bad example. Okay, this is another case of what happened if you did not remove the keiki from last year. This is a one single shoot. Okay, if you did not remove the keiki, you notice that last summer, it did not have any new shoot from the bottom because all the energy is to this keiki. Okay, and to correct that, because it has flower right now, I'm actually going to leave it here. Just enjoy the flower until the finish. So I'm going to show you, and then to save the plant. If eventually, if I don't remove this mother plant, the original can is going to dry out and die because all the energy is dominated by here, and not only they're going to be top heavy, so it constantly are falling off on this. Okay, so a lot of time when you do repot this, okay, every year the cycle on the Nobile type Dendrobium, every year they're always going to have a new growth. You want to encourage new shoot growth as possible like this. Every year they're always going to have a new growth. Okay, or every new shoot will have more potential to have more flower. Okay, so when they have a new growth like this, after the flower presuming that this is finished flower, right about April, May is what we call a long day, shorter night is their growing vegetative cycle. That's when the day length is get longer. Okay, 12 hours or more of day length. More heat. So you can start, if you go catasetum or Cattleya, a lot of light, a lot of water. You want to make sure the can is fat as possible. And then you get the vegetative stage all summer long. By the end of the fall, that about October, when we have the day length is getting shorter, nighttime is getting longer, that's when you want to make sure that the temperature also drop at night. Okay, so if you are going in the apartment, you want to make sure that you can either put it outside. They can go down all the way to 40 degrees. It will not hurt them because the longer you live outside, do not water, do not feed them, you're going to stimulate more flower can, or more flower. Okay. So this is very simple. Just make sure when you cut down the water and the low night temperature and no water, cut down the water and no any fertilizer without any nitrogen. Okay, so I'm going to give you some really bad example, and this is going to be the tip of the week type. So if you have a lot of Dendrobium, a keiki like this, see here, this is another perfect example. One can, and guess what? It got this batch. It got put it in it will stay in the warm house. So in the springtime, instead of have flower spike, it become a keiki, and it also accidentally got water and nutrient, and so this is what happened. So you got too many keiki. Okay, so the best way is, I'm gonna take this out, and the tip of the week is, then you can actually propagate all this keiki. You can have 1 plant, and 2 plant, and 3 plant, and 4 plant. Okay, this is to my kit. That way, I'm going to save this plant. So without all this keiki is burdening the mother plant. Okay, all this, then this mother plant, this coming spring, is going to give me a new shoot. Okay, so, and a lot of time, what you can do with all this keiki, if you don't have too many, you can actually trade with your neighbor, or just plant every single one of them as a 1 plant. And you can actually, this can be going to, do not overpot them. Moss is actually, they love moss. Or if you, fine bark mix, okay, and put it in the 3-inch pot, not 6-inch pot. It's going to overwater. And a lot of time you might see this mildew here. This is okay. The mildew here is actually a honey during the summertime when it's hot. And this is the fungi. It's just they actually feeding on the mildew. It doesn't bother the plant, so you can actually wash them off. Okay, and a lot of time if I put it outdoor, they're gonna drop off anyway. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got 4 keiki. A lot of time you can you can trade with your friend, or simply if you live in area, I can mount this on my palm tree or South Florida, and you got more plant that way. Okay. So this is the to my kit. All right. And then I'm gonna wrap it up. And then one of the tip I'm gonna show you is this is crystal. This is the one of the very unusual, very rare, called China Dream. Okay, and this is very rare because it's a mutation of the only best splash petal. The only way to propagate this is not by tissue culture, because you cannot mass produce them because they usually reverse to normal. So all this China Dream, we every 2-3 years we order from Japan, and you know how they do it in Japan, and that's why it really pains very long time. The tip of the week for you to propagate unusual plant, for this one here, for example, you have a can like this. Okay, a lot of time I usually, if you have an extra mega dry you can actually soak them for about 5-10 minutes in mega dry, and then you notice that there's 2 ways to do this. Some people just layer the whole can in the bed of moss. Okay, and another way to make sure, but because this is so old, another way to do it is every note here, you cut it like this. Make it 4 pieces. So any of this, you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 50-50. 50% might have a new shoe come up, a keiki coming up, and I don't even. Some people do it this way. Once the cut surface dry, you can put them down. But I think I like it better. We just layer them on the top of bark or moss, but not immersion them inside, because if you do it this way, a lot of the time they might rot it. So and then you can spray them with mega dry. So this is one way to propagate the rare dendrobium like this. Okay, so that's tip of the week for you. Any question before we finish this? So basically, Nobile dendrobium is actually very user friendly. Very easy for beginner. It's really hard to kill them, because the dendrobium like this, the species origin from the foothill of Himalaya, they gone through extreme temperature drop. So Nobile type, if you never try any dendrobium before, it's hardy. You cannot overwater them or overfeed them during the summertime. You just have to remember, maybe mark it on your calendar, or sometime I should remind everybody, by the end of the summer, maybe at the end of October, make sure you put all your Nobile dendrobium, start cutting down water, stretch them. Okay.
The cane starts to shrivel from not being watered. Is that a concern?
That's okay. I'm gonna show you an example of. This is a perfect example of one of the items we're gonna feature. Okay, this is the Nobile dendrobium, but alba one, pure alba of this regular one. Okay, this is the case of really starving. This is what happened when you notice the can is really shallow. That's okay. Once they become like this, you can start watering them, and in about 2-3 days, they're gonna plump up like this. Okay, and then You see all the bud here? The more stretch, the better. And because they've been outside, okay, this leaf here, Roger, can you see the leaf here? All these leaves have spot is not disease. This is the physiology changes. Because these are going to drop off, fall off like this. Okay, so this is a temperature stress on the leaf. It's not a disease, so don't worry about it. Okay, it's going to drop off anyway. And this, and besides, this is a very old can, and you see here, and all these are grow outdoor. Okay, I will start putting this out of the greenhouse right about November, and we do not water it. So this is the Nobile alba form, which is very rare, and this is from C. See here, okay. So I'm gonna jump into the show and tell now. So this is the item at 749. It's a white version of the species nobilis. Okay, so if you like to have, this is probably the most hardy of any hybrid. And we were outside, and I know this batch has subject to about 40 degrees at night. Okay, so here we go. And then we also grow this outdoor, and it have the summer, couple weeks of 108 degree, 108. They love it. Look at all this can here. Okay, so Nobile type. This is the Nobile alba dendrobium. It's a good species to have, the hardiest one. To go and try, and they actually start to emerge now, so you can have instant gratification. Look at this. Okay. Woohoo! And this is the China Dream. I think I have about 4 or 5 plants. If you experience with Nobile dendrobium, they don't get big. It's a patent variety from Japan, and they only propagate by not cutting. So the plant like this is about 4 or 5 years old. Okay, and we usually order from Japan because they had this their patent. We order every 3 years from them. Okay, so it's really cute. Okay, good for under light. Okay, and this one here. This is MC1053. Okay, this is the yellow one, the variegated one. Okay, this is the one if you want to try. Good one to try because they will flower for Mother's Day. So this is the one. The yellow one always a late bloomer, and they have a beautiful variegated leaf. And okay. Oh, let me do that. And this is the Phalaenopsis El Piocher that everybody been waiting for a long time, and they have 2 sizes. This is the bigger size. We had 45, and this is the premium size. The nice about this plant is not only its fragrance, the spike doesn't get very tall, but it's not like Violesia stick there. Look how wonderful. There's three spikes, and it's sequential flower. So this is the new spike from this year. I love this plant because when I was in Taiwan, when I first saw this, I said, this is really nice. I was very impressed how compact the leaf, and the short spike, and sequential flower. Okay, 3 spikes, and this is just 4 years old. Can you imagine? The mother plant, when I first saw it, original plant had about almost 10 spike. The plant this big only, 10 spike in the middle, almost like a Nobile, and just a living bouquet. Okay, so this is wonderful if you like early yellow spotted type. Okay, and what we have here, we don't have this in flower, but we almost saw all the plant. But if you like miniature, this is wonderful. This half of this is Toshi Oki, so this is twice a year. Wonderful miniature yellow with red with yellow lip. Okay, and happen to have this in flower. This is actually trumpet coronation is a Pamela Hannington hybrid. This is a California hybrid. What different than the Pamela Hannington is it cut down the size, so you have a very compact print like this with a big flower. Okay, and the nice thing about this, they can flower spring and fall. So get the print. They should be start to have flower sheet in flower for Mother's Day. This is one of our best Mother's Day bloomer. Okay. Okay, this is I registered this. This is actually a happy camp. It's been registered as a happy camping now, and it is Tetrapolis and Jennifer Probono. So we have two sizes. This is the regular size, and premium size is in the 6-inch pot, bigger pot, and it's just very given. Just always in flower on this one here, and fragrance too. All right. And this one here is one I just posted today. Okay, it's Phalaenopsis philipinensis, the species, white flower actually, with Jennifer Probono, but it's using the blue Jennifer. So the foliage is actually very pretty, very compact, sequential flower, even though the other parent Philipinensis is not a sequential flower, but because Jennifer Probono has Tetrapolis and Violacea in there. So look at this. This rebloom again along with a new spike. Okay, so if you like something really different, I think the color has been ranging from light pink to blue like this, and can be heavily spotted and very heavy substance. Okay. So what happened? What do you think that the reason we do this kind of stuff is Jennifer Probono usually by itself flower late spring, early summer. By crossing with Philipinensis, which is a spring bloomer that flowers in February, we actually try to make the novelty Phalaenopsis earlier in season. So that way you can have this type enjoy the seasons as early as right now in February, all the way to October. You can flower for 8 months for you. All right. And another one of us beautiful species is Phalaenopsis Zabrina. Okay, this is Zabrina. Is a wonderful species from Philippines, and this is a wonderful stage. This is a good size to get him now. You can repot into a bigger pot later, or I personally, if I go to, I like to. This is a perfect candidate for mountain. The leaf is going like this and beautiful. It's perfect for under light. It doesn't take a lot of space, and it's very fragrant too. So always in flower. Okay. Oh, Dendrobium. The season is coming. This is the warm grower. This is a species from Philippines, and it's a sequential flower. You see all the note here. The season is coming. So all these tiny little flower have light fragrance, okay, and they're gonna flower the next on and off for the next 6 months, and the season is starting right now. Okay, it's called Dendrobium uniform. Woohoo! And we just released this a couple days ago. This is the one of the best Free Spirit hybrid. Is huge flower. This is the first bloom in spring. This is going to be a nice bouquet of flower and heavy flower substance. I think one day this will get an AM. It's AM quality and very fragrant too. The nice about this one here is it's all miniature Free Spirit. It's kind of a small flower. It's crossed with a big standard yellow ball. So you got something in between, intermediate type grower with a bigger flower. Okay. Woohoo. We sold out of this one last year. We got something back again. This is one of the best Gigantea hybrid. It's called Jones Giant Cherry Prince. This have an AM/AOS, so you can see the Gigantea influence on them. And again, it never cut off the spike. They just keep on blooming. Okay, and very good for mountain or under the light. So this is MC. You're gonna remember this name. We use a lot of this in breeding, so you're gonna see a lot of this Jones Giant Cherry a lot in our catalog. Now this is the silver leaf. Can we show the picture of silver leaf? The foliage too. Okay. This is the dark flower version of the silver leaf, and it is fantastic. Do not wait, because once we sold out of this, next time we bring this back again, maybe another 4 years, because the silver leaf is very slow grower. They usually grow to get to this size is about 4 years. Okay, so but this particular strand has that different than what we had earlier before the earlier season. I love the dark rose petal color and contrasted with a very, very white lip. On the side of the lip is almost like Feather Penensis. It's beautiful contrast. Okay, so I know weather is cold, but go ahead and put the order. What we've been doing is we've been Karen at the support. She monitors the weather. We can ship anything about 30 degrees, but right now we kind of hold back the shipping because last week or this week, the Memphis the airport actually shut down this week because they don't have water for the bathroom, so they actually shut down the airport. So that cut down the service by FedEx, because Memphis, Tennessee is a bit hard for Federal Express. So I apologize if anything that got delayed. Call Karen if anything damaged. But what Karen is doing right now is we don't want to disappoint you, because once you order, some people say, oh, I'm going to wait until I put it on a wish list and wait until weather is warmer. Guess what? Many of you will say, oh, what happened to my orchid in my wish list? Well, once they sold out, they're going to be disappear from your wish list. So it's better to, on a limited item like this one here, order them. Karen, we're gonna put it aside. We're gonna grow them. It's almost like a spa for them. They're gonna grow bigger.
Do put overnight.
Yeah, and also this time you also want to do pay extra $10 for FedEx to do overnight service. Anytime it's 2 days, Karen, we're gonna put more delay because until it's a lot warmer. But if you for right now, we can safely ship about 30 degrees Fahrenheit at night at Memphis. So if you do overnight, everything's fine. Okay. And last one, but not the least one, I love this one here. This is then, if you like spotted, they are in peak season right now, and we have less than 25 left. This is the whole cross of Minto Princess or Minto Sun. Okay. You have the regular inspire or premium size. This is what we call the premium size. Okay, and this is the regular in button spike. See the difference in size? Okay. Sometimes people want to pay extra money for it, but this is a very, very amazing cross, and the flowers will be, like Sunny would say, frozen in time. Each individual flower will last 3 months or more, and a sequential flower, so they will keep blooming from the tips. So this is the Mintos Princess. Almost sold out. Get your order in. If it's too cold, we can hold it for you. So thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Last one. Okay. The season. Jeff just told me that we have actually gone through the whole cycle. Last year, this time of year, we go through this again too. This is Deltanaria alba. Okay. Okay, this is the phenomenon strand of alba. Look how beautiful. I think Sonny got some last week. They're not a single grow. These are multiple grow. So multiple grow mean they're gonna have more flower. We're gonna shoot like this, and when they have multiple grow, you see the new shoot here, they're gonna flower again in about another 2-3 months. So this strain will flower at least twice a year for you. Okay, so Delta 90 Alba, we had the best strain. This is the strain from Mr. Bear from Taiwan, and he's an amazing grower. And the strain of this Alba is actually rediscovered of the species from South Vietnam. So it's not this Selfin and Selfin that we've been having in the United States. No, this is actually sibling outcross to the rediscovered species of Delta 90 Alba from South Vietnam. So if you never had the Alba strain before, this is even more vigorous than the regular pink one. All right, thank you very much. So I hope everybody have a nice weekend. Stay warm, and anything with the cold winter right now, it's always safer not to water. If you have any doubt, you have a cold damage, do not water. Just leave it the potting mix as dry as possible. Okay, and I'll see you next week.